So, did you know that you can draw your own patterns to make your own quilts? So this is a reference book that shows how to start it. Uh, it's pretty easy. A lot of you that was in school back in the 80s, 90s, probably remember drawing a lot of this stuff on your notebooks, doodling all these odd shapes and stuff. You can actually make these into quilts, all these odd shapes that we used to draw on our notebooks back in school. You can actually grid it out on grid paper and actually put it together and actually make quilts from the old stars and patterns that we used to draw back in high school. So a lot of these patterns, we'd sit and doodle them on books and book covers and out of boredom, but you can actually sew them into quilt patterns. Now this is a old book. It may be out of print, I don't know. That's the cover of it. But I think this book was originally copyrighted in the 80s and probably printed in the 90s. Yeah, it's copywritten in 1986 and published in 1990. So most of us was small kids or young teens when this book was printed. But all these wild patterns that we used to sit and doodle in school was actually quilt patterns, and we didn't even know it. And all you got to do is doodle it out on a piece of grid paper and cut out the shapes that you want, and you can actually piece together a quilt top from all the old doodling pictures and stars and symbols from way back. So apparently this was a thing. I think a lot of us didn't even know that we was sitting and doodling stars and stuff that was originally quilt patterns. I know a lot of us would sit and draw this stuff in school when we got bored. I say a lot of us got into detention for this because we'd sit and do this instead of doing our work. So if you find one of these old books and you find it interesting, pick one up, flip through it. I'm sure there's probably a design or a pattern that you've probably recognized from back in the day. But yeah, you can actually make quilts from these patterns, or you can just draw out any kind of pattern you want and make it. But this will show you how to start it out. A lot of us is already familiar with this because we used to do this back in the day in school. Back when the old pencil and paper was the common thing to use. Some of us even snuck a few ink pens into school and done a lot of this stuff. But you can tell how they created out. There's probably millions of designs that you could come up with. you get bored, you can actually draw your own patterns if you decide to. All you really need is some graph paper, grid paper, and just sit and make your patterns. But if you find this book interesting, you can probably find it online somewhere, a used one, and give it a check out, and it'll give you a little bit of reading information and some ideas.